ready for a fight like this is like Clay Guida getting ready for a fight. The Queen of Violence time! We have Ariane Lipski representing Lioness Studio, looking to go 2-0 from the gym that Amanda Nunes has made popular when she takes on a couple of Brazilians, Malissa Gatto. And if you look at this matchup, Matt, Gatto inactive for about a year. Her last time out against Tracy Cortez. Cortez round 1, Gatto round 2. Gatto a little bit playing jiu-jitsu, hanging around on the ground in round 3 against Cortez, loses 29-28 on all 3 judges' scorecards. But for Gatto, if you consider it, you look at her undefeated coming into the UFC, the USADA issues marking the little bit of a pause from 2018 to 2021. But win over Victoria Leonardo, kicks her arm and breaks it. Win over Sijara Eubanks, kicks her body, wins it. So if you consider for Gatto, big time performance bonus against Sijara Eubanks, and her striking night and day from when she was on the regional scene to her in the UFC. Gatto trains out of a really good gym in Equipe MSP, so a really good one there for Gatto. A lot of great fighters out of the gym. And if you look at it for Lipski, Brazil to ATT to then Lioness Studio, and it did look good on her last time out. Now, 30-27s across the board when she took on JJ Aldrich, mixed in the takedowns, mixed in the distance striking. I don't know if it was a J.J. Aldrich-Cody Brundage situation because Aldrich looked a step slow in that matchup, but I'll give the flowers and the credit where they're due. I thought Lipski looked good to where Aldrich didn't look great. So it was a sink or swim moment. Lipski kind of saved her spot in the division, and now all of a sudden we're kind of pining for the rankings in a matchup like this at flyweight, just outside of the top 15. So it's a fun fight because Lipski, we've seen that knee bar against Luana Carolina. That's got to be a meme because they're both fighting on this card this weekend. But Lipski, the submission of the year with that knee bar, it was disgusting. And
God, Melissa, pretty good, though.
Melissa Gatto, you saw her get that submission against Karol Rosa to punch her ticket to the UFC. So a really interesting fight coming up this weekend.
If anybody tells you they know exactly what's going to happen in this fight, you look them dead in the eyes and tell them they're a liar. Because Melissa Gatto is one of these fighters that I really hate predicting. Like a Fabricio Verdum, and I'm not talking about the striking. I'm just thinking primarily about jiu-jitsu.
Wait, you mean
Brad Ortega?
Whoa. Bare knuckles Fabricio Verdum?
Is that really what he's doing right
Taking
now?
on JDS.
That's real sad. Anyways, any of these floor is lava type fighters, and I know Melissa Gatto might not be of that level, right? Like we did see Tracy Cortez have success with her own offensive takedowns, but for the most part, Gatto and her submission ability is enough of a threat so that the majority of people don't even want to go into those waters with her. But other than getting the fight to some of those positions, yes, the body kick is something that has improved a lot. Her striking is coming along, but I still don't think Melissa Gatto's striking is at the level to where she can go out there and win 15-minute fights strictly with her striking. Now, I think her striking can open up her grappling, and that can lead her to wins during those 15-minute fights, but she's a difficult fighter to predict, with which she relies on her opponents to take her down sometimes. Her offensive takedowns, they're not the most crisp. She's not a complete zero with her offensive takedowns, but it is a lot of rushing across. She's using her physical strength. But the thing about Gatto is, off her back, yes, she's dangerous. If she gets on top of Ariane Lipski in this matchup, I don't want to say it's over, but she is a completely different type of a threat with her own submission game. But I have to go back and agree with what we kind of both said about the Aldrich fight. It was a complete performance from Lipski. And if you're a complete fighter who fights somebody who is primarily a specialist, although yes, we all recognize she's making the improvements in the other parts of her game, I still think the completeness of Lipski is always going to be something that specialists are going to have a difficult time overcoming.
The Lipski thing, it was a bit of a question mark trying to make the weight. She had a couple of bouts there at 135, at around 135. She had COVID right before a fight, and that kind of threw things into flux. And now all of a sudden, out of the ATT realm, she looked really good her last time out. So it is kind of credit where credit's due. And Lipski, you know how high the hopes were. She was in the middle of a KSW poster, albeit fighting for a title in the prelims against, Diana Belbizia. She fought Silvana Gomez-Juarez. She has a win over Sheila Gaff, who was somebody that Amanda Nunes beat in the UFC, so kind of crazy to see the similarities there, but a national Muay Thai champ to go along with that KSW belt for Lipski. And, I mean, it's one of those ones where you look at it at Lipski and training at Lioness Studio, you might go, maybe that's to kind of a reduced level. And we talked about the striking coach that we have for Amanda Nunes, but I think kind of the unsung hero getting ready for a fight like this is Desmond Moore being a coach there with Lipski, with Amanda Nunes as well. He's a guy that wrestled at Penn State, and though he has a 7-5 MMA record, it's not really conducive to the fact that this guy was a heck of a wrestler, and he's going to get you schooled for a fight like this. And if you're sitting at home going, Sheila Gaff, Desmond Moore, who are these people? You probably, and I think you should leave fan, and you're probably sitting there going, who the hell is Bart Lee? Ever heard of John Richter? No! I don't know if people watch season 3 as much as I did, but I loved it. So if you do look at this one, Matt, Malissa Gatto coming off about a year-long layoff. She is favored in the matchup. We have a look at the Tapology votes. Surprised us there to you. I think they're going to be closer than some of these other fights have been with Tapology. I'm going to say over under 67.5% Gatto here.
I'll say under.
You're going to say under? Oh, look at you. 772 total votes, 64% Gatto, 71% to win by decision. For the 36% that have Lipski to win, 81% by decision. I think Ariane Lipski wins a decision in this fight. I don't see Gatto beating Lipski by decision.
If she gets a ton of ground control, I think she could. I agree. It's probably the most unlikely. It's probably the most unlikely out of the outcomes. But again, I think if Gatto is able to get on top, probably if she has that much top control, it's probably over by submission. So I'll agree with you. I have a hard time with this fight because again, if Lipski can keep it on the feet, keep it a rangey fight, and really use her own kicks too, because that's the thing. Lipski has her own prodding kicks that can keep this fight so far away from Gatto that Gatto's takedowns won't be nearly as effective. So I'll go with the slight underdog in Ariane Lipski in this one.
Both of us going with the Queen of Violence, Ariane Lipski, to get the win. Let us know down below who you have in the matchup. Some big-time fights left on this card, including Damir Ismagulov is going to be taking on Grant Dawson. You're not going to want to miss it. Keep it locked in with Fight Night Picks. We always say, let's get into it.